are live. And now
Fantastic.
my chat, let me see if the chat's working. Here I thought the chat wasn't working, but I wasn't reading it. It said, you need to be live. We are, and we have 2 people watching already? Well, that's even better.
Oh, wow.
Man, that's better. And I used this for Zoe's podcast when we did our podcast live. And I thought it worked out pretty good, figuring all the stuff going on in the convention center. So we should catch up. Well, first off, with Celebration being in London, I go back and forth on that one. It's Easter weekend, right? So, that's a little bit of a pain. But secondly, that also means that it's probably going to be on the East Coast less than a year after that, would be my guess.
That's true.
So I have to decide, do I want to go to London with no costumes, or do I just want to double my efforts in a year or so after that? That's my thoughts. Plus, I don't know what, Safi's probably at school, so she won't be able to go. We don't know what Zoe could be working for Lucasfilm by then, so who knows? What's a guy to do?
So let's rewind a few days, because you just jumped to the Sunday of Celebration and missed Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and the day of Sunday. So for the folks that are watching, they may not realize that the 2 of you were lucky enough to go and spend a whole lot of time, and you can tell by your mannerisms and your voice that it was a very full event.
Oh yeah. So it started for us. I got home Wednesday. I have one of the few jobs that on Wednesday we don't know when to get out. We have to wait on specific buses. So my duty day with students can end anywhere between 2:20 and 3:15. We just have to wait until all the buses. This happened to be one of the days that ended at 3:15, the latest it could possibly go. So me and Zoe, we basically rushed to the airport, right, Zoe?
Yeah.
And we got there just in time. Everything was closed. Like all the restaurants were closed. And I think so. We just got on the plane, ate our pretzels. Our first stop was Minnesota, which was, I'm sure it's a lovely state, but the airport at 9 at night was not very exciting. And then we flew in. We finally got to our hotel at 2 a.m. I think it was.
Oof.
And then we got up early. We had to I had my swag box here. I don't know if I put it in my swag box. Yeah, we had to get, first thing in the morning, we went and got our COVID lanyards.
Wristbands
to see that, we were COVID free. And then what did we do, Zoe?
We went to the Lucasfilm Studio Showcase.
Oh yeah, we went to the showcase panel, which we didn't get in the main stage.
Did you guys win the lottery or something for that?
Yes, we won the lottery for it.
We won in the lottery, but we got in the secondary room. So we got in the wrong queue at first, but then they had a like an overflow queue or whatever, standby queue for the main stage. So we decided, look, we're going to wait in the standby queue until 10 minutes, because we had guaranteed seats in the other one, to see if we could get in the main stage, which we didn't get in the main stage. So then we rushed up to the secondary stage, which was still good. And that's when we saw, who did we see? Ewan McGregor and all them. Then there was an impromptu John Williams concert. Was that his 90th birthday or his 80th?
90th.
So they had an impromptu 90th concert. He conducted the concert. And then,
we saw an Andor teaser, and we saw some stuff from Willow, and then John Williams performed the Obi-Wan Kenobi theme.
Right.
And then he turned around and he was like, "This one's not Star Wars, but I think you'll know it." He started playing the Indiana Jones theme. Harrison Ford came out. They announced stuff about the new Indiana Jones movie.
Did they show any like footage from that, or was it just
Mhm.
the still they posted online?
Just the poster and the release date.
And then, and then they said, okay, if you're in the room, you get a wristband. You come back at like 5 o'clock or 5:30, and you can see the first 2 episodes.
Mm.
So, of course we were.
And they announced the Mandalorian experience.
Oh yes, and they announced that they had brought a whole room of props from the Mandalorian and Book of Boba Fett, and put them in the one building. It wasn't pre-announced, like no one knew that was coming. And then Zoe got us in that right away. And then
the only thing I couldn't get a reservation for all weekend was the Celebration store.
Oh, I know. Yeah, we couldn't get in the store.
We got everything else.
And then
See, and that to me is baffling because you would think with a convention center that large that they could make the store big enough for more folks to get
or
in.
like have 2 stores.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I don't know. I know a lot of people to get in there. Well, and I wasn't also, I'll say for the store, I wasn't trying particularly hard because we went to the Mandalorian experience Thursday, the first day we could have done it. And we did it, and you get to the end, and there's a gift shop. And the main exclusive from Celebration that I wanted was the Frog Lady plush to get one for Lizzie. And that was in the gift shop there. So I was like, well, I don't need to get in the store then, really. So I like in the morning I'd be like, let's see if I can get a reservation, and I never did, but I will say I wasn't trying as hard for that one as I was for other things.
Because then right after that, didn't we go to Anne Convery's panel?
Yes, we had the studio showcase, then we went to Anne Convery's panel.
And that was so much fun. It was an Ahsoka panel by the podcast, some of the podcast people.
Tarkin's Top Shelf.
Yeah, Tarkin's Top Shelf, and I forget the other one. There was another one too.
Yes.
And that was a good podcast. And Anne Convery was lovely in that. And then she recognized Zoe, and we talked to her. And then everyone left. And then we were like Anne Convery's little posse there for like an hour.
Not an hour.
Well, we hung out with her for about a half hour, and then we walked around with her for almost 20 minutes. I'm giving it an hour. I'm calling it an hour. I'm rounding up.
Okay. Yeah, and then after that, we got some vegan nachos at one of the food trucks.
Yeah, well, this was around 2 o'clock. We realized we had only eaten a Cliff Bar since we had been in California.
Mm-hmm. So. And we hadn't eaten that much before we got to California.
Yeah, so we were
running on adrenaline.
Yeah, we were tired.
So, and then after lunch, we went to the Mandalorian experience, which was definitely a highlight. That was incredible.
Yeah, I mean, that was almost worth the whole trip, just seeing that. Because you were literally like feet. I took tons of pictures. Let's see if I was trying to have all these pictures queued up for this.
And like the pictures are cool, but seeing it all in person was so. I was crying, which I always am, but it was. I mean, like they had like the N1 Starfighter. They had the whole thing, like life size, sitting in the middle of a big room, and in the little bubble is the Grogu puppet, looking around. They rigged it up so he's looking around, waving at people. It was the cutest thing ever.
I'm surprised as to how much of that is actually practical. I mean, like you said, the entire N1 Starfighter was a real prop, and then the Rancor head and the cockpit of the Razor Crest too.
Yeah, we got to see the miniatures they used for space battles and space flying scenes. So they had the miniatures.
Was that the one that was built by John Knoll in his garage?
I don't know.
Maybe, but they had.
The car, I wished I could have gone in again just to take, I was trying to take pictures and enjoy it. So every picture I took, I feel like I missed 20 pictures.
It had everything.
Yeah, let me see.
Frog Lady? Do you have Frog Lady?
Right, there's Frog Lady costume.
Frog Man was not there, so I think they're using that costume to film a spinoff right now.
Right, Frog Man, the series. Frog Man PI. So let me see. They had Look, the guys caught in this. They had Zero's costume.
I think it's funny that Zero's costumes is just from the waist up.
Oh, if you look at his legs, Chris could not have fit in those. But that's just me, a blurry picture. But I'm always fascinated with droid hands. Got some good shots of the Mando. The one for John I got. Look, so there's the little pistol.
That never showed up anywhere.
That was just when he dropped it in the box.
Yeah.
When he was getting on the flight in Book of Boba Fett. Remember, he had to put all his weapons in the lockbox.
Yeah, it's on the back of his bandolier.
Yeah, and then, but the one I thought was cool. Sorry, my picture.
Perfect. That one's really cool.
That's a video actually, but I didn't want to sit and watch the whole video. Where's it at? His little weapons. Right there.
His belt knife?
Yeah, I don't. So that looks like it must be hid in his belt somewhere.
Huh.
Which I thought was pretty cool.
All right, Mando Mercs, go update your CRLs.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a shot right there.
What's that item that's below the vibroblade? That looks like a
torch or something, or I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Mudhorn suppository.
Yeah, there you go. Flame Trooper.
Oh, the Darksaber.
Darksaber.
I just had a random thought. I don't know if you guys could confirm this for me or not. Is Din Djarin the first costume to be approved by all three of the major costuming groups? Because he's in the 501st and the Mando Mercs. I would presume the Rebel Legion too, right?
Yes.
Well,
yeah.
Is he in the Rebel Legion? I don't know if he's in the Rebel Legion.
I think he is. I'm gonna look. I have the forums bookmarked right here.
But the other thing is, like, you have Jawas and Sand People that are already. He's probably the first.
But Mercs don't have denizens.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Mercs don't have denizens. You're frozen, I see.
Anthony sending a shout out to you guys at your celebration show.
Thank you.
No one is moving.
I am not finding Din Djarin on Rebel Legion.
Well, you know what was cool? So
I wore Sabine Friday for the first half of the day, and then all day Saturday, Sunday.
How were the different costume club setups?
They were cool. So what they had was there's like all the regular tables and stuff, and then where they have like the big live stage that they live stream from, and around that they had the Galactic Senate, and there on one side was the photo op things that the group set up. So there's like a little Mandalorian jail cell, a Rebel base with screen set up. That was really cool. A Mandalorian throne, like a speeder bike, stuff like that. And then on the other side, facing the celebrations or the live stage, was a table for each group.
Have we lost Mike?
I think we might have.
Either that or he's just very, very
Mm.
still.
There he goes.
Nope, there he goes.
It's weird that he can drop out of this when it's his live.
So now's our chance to talk bad about him when he's not here.
Right.
Oh no.
So this is the part of Celebration that I enjoy, especially because I didn't get to go this year. Seeing all the photographs just slowly come out as people get home and have the time to post their things.
Yeah. Monday, we got back Monday afternoon. We got back in the evening to the house, and we like eat a little dinner, and I'm like, I want to watch Obi-Wan. My mom hadn't seen this, like, I want to watch Obi-Wan with you. And so we sit on the couch and we turn on episode 1, and I get halfway through before I just pass out. I was dead tired. And then, yeah, and that was pretty early, and I slept in the next morning till like almost 10. So then like Tuesday was when I like posted all my like Instagram pictures and stuff. Yeah.
How was the Mandalorian panel? Because obviously they had the teaser trailer and then the clip that they brought.
So I didn't get into Mando Plus. We didn't win the lottery for that one. But after that panel ended, I was walking around in Sabine, and I had random people coming up to me. They were like, "Were you in the Mando panel?" Like, and I was like, "No." And they're like, "Oh, didn't you see?" Like, and they're like, "Oh, Sabine was in it." And I was like, "What?" And they're like, "Yeah, they showed it." Like, and random people were coming up to me explaining this. And then one guy, didn't get his name or anything. He comes up and he's like, "Here, I took a video of the Ahsoka preview." And he pulls it out and shows me. So that was how I saw it. Yeah, but I didn't get into that panel. The big panels we went to were the studio showcase, and I got into the Bad Batch panel. Didn't make it to Tales of the Jedi. I was busy, unfortunately, but the main I wanted were the studio showcase and the Bad Batch, which I got. So.
It appears that Mike will be back with us here in just a moment.
Mm-hmm. They also, I don't know how much you guys know about the game Hunters. That's supposed to come out soon.
Is that the mobile game?
Yeah, the mobile / Nintendo Switch game. They had a ginormous. I didn't take pictures of it. I should have. It was a huge booth with like stuff all the way up to the ceiling, like their posters and stuff. And you could play the game. You could just go up and line up and play the game. And there was never a long line for it, which was kind of weird. But I played it twice actually, and it's really fun. I liked it a lot. So
in costume or out of costume?
In costume both times, I think.
And you got no pictures? Come on, what the?
I know. It was cool. They had like cutouts of all the characters and stuff. And the game is very fun. The first time I played as obviously the Utuni, the two Jawas,
the Jawas,
each other, of course. Then the second time I played as J3D1, the droid Jedi. So
I would be very disappointed if you played that game and didn't play the Jawas.
Yeah. I think they'll be my preferred ones, but I'll try them all. The Mandalorian was not. There's a Mandalorian in that game. He's on the poster and stuff, but he was not available to play. At least I didn't see him. But I'm excited for that game.
Now, for the uninitiated and the unfortunately uninformed, what kind of game is it?
It's so it's a 4 versus 4 like
a battle
game.
royale kind of game.
Yeah,
right?
it's okay. I would probably equate it most to like Overwatch and those kind of games. Like it's very fun and colorful. I think my dad kept comparing the art style to Fortnite. But I would, and I mean, at least the game mode we played, I understand there's supposed to be more modes. We played, it was like a capture the point kind of thing.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I would say it's most similar to Overwatch as far as just the game mode and stuff. It's a third person play though, but it's very fun.
It seems like the kind of game you just drop into, play for a little while, drop out, drop.
Yeah, Well, and I think because it is a mobile / Nintendo Switch game, I think it's it'll be less of a like sit up like I've been the past couple of days because my work doesn't open back up till Friday. I've just been like grinding on Battlefront all day. So I think it'll be more of a little casual game, which I like.
It looks cool. I mean, I can see folks doing cosplay of all those different hunters.
For sure.
And was there
It's
talk of expanding it after it gets released?
no,
Like adding
not
other
that
hunters?
I know there was a panel. I didn't go to that panel, so I don't know how much they said. But I know someone said like some of those characters are popping up in comics and things, and so I'm very excited. I love all those characters already. I just like anything bright and colorful and fun, and also Star Wars. So, somebody asked in the chat for thoughts on all the trailers. I will say I know they didn't release this one, but I did see the Mandalorian season 3 trailer in the studio showcase. Super awesome. I'm very excited for Bo-Katan and everything she's going to do in that show. Did you guys see the Andor teaser?
Several times, yeah.
Yeah.
I got to spend a little bit of time watching the Star Wars live stream that they had going. So every once in a while, they would play that Andor trailer.
Yeah, I'm very interested in Andor. I think that show has the potential to bring back returning characters, especially in season 2, which I'm excited. I'm very excited for Andor. I thought the trailer really showed an interesting vibe for it, and like
one thing I find interesting related to the new Earth stuff is they are showing more of the general citizens in greater clarity. So the background characters aren't as much in the background and poorly lit. It's almost as if you could do screen captures of the random citizen on a street, and you could become that, build a costume for that random citizen.
Yeah.
Like they're putting in that much depth and detail for all the different costumes.
Like Mr. Ajax Citizen in Obi-Wan Kenobi Episode 1. Timestamp roughly after 28 minutes. Have to shout out Steel Wars got to be Ajax Citizen in the background of Obi-Wan Kenobi. So
See, and that's the kind of stuff that I dream of.
Yeah, right.
Like Kathleen Kennedy and Jon Favreau listening to our show, and they say, "Hey, you know what? We have these 2 spots. We need someone to work this Melu run fruit stand. So we need to dirty up your face, put you in the streets of random planet, and here you go. You'll be on screen for 3 seconds, and that's enough."
Yeah, that's all I need.
Where did I get
we're talking about trailers. So the other trailer, the Jedi Survivor. I don't know if you've all played Jedi Fallen Order or not. The Jedi Survivor trailer looked interesting. I'm very hyped for that game.
Did you talk through all the days of stuff we did? Did I miss
No, someone asked about trailers. We're talking about trailers for a little bit. The other trailer, the Bad Batch
Survivor trailer is interesting.
Yes.
Who do you think the Utapawan is?
I don't know. I think it's going to be like a random guy, and I know it's not. I know everyone wants it to be someone. I think the guy in the back to tank is also just a random new guy. Yeah, the Bad Batch. We got a Bad Batch trailer. Senator. Imperial Senator. Yeah, that makes sense.
And we got to see Anthony.
Yeah, the Bad Batch. The Bad Batch. I think I'm most excited for the Bad Batch right now out of everything.
How much time after the first season is the second season taking place?
They didn't specify. In the panel they were like some time has passed. Like Omega's hair is longer, so I'm gonna assume like at least a year, if not more.
They had time to repaint their armor.
You beat me to it.
The clip reminded me, give me a Swiss Family Robinson vibe. The clip you saw.
Yeah, I'm excited, and there's Gunji in the trailer, which
I missed that.
That's all I need.
I
is
missed
Gunji.
the trailer because I rushed to Zoe's panel.
Yeah, and Gunji's in the trailer, and not in the trailer they released, but in the trailer that they showed, because they showed a different extended cut of the trailer in the panel. And that trailer had Commander Cody in it. And the screaming in that room when Commander Cody showed up, they played it. I'm glad they played it twice, because the first time did not catch what he said. Because everyone was just screaming, and everyone screamed for Gunji too. That's a good time.
Yeah.
When are we going to get a Gungan bounty hunter?
That'd be cool. As far as how much I like Vivian Lyra Blair as Leia, I love it. She's killing it. I think she is making Carrie Fisher very proud. She looks just like her, and she's perfectly capturing the mix of
Sass.
attitude and hopefulness and compassion.
And that maturity too. That
yeah, she's awesome. I love her.
What year is it now?
In Obi-Wan?
No, right now, yeah, 2022. Speaking of Kenobi, how is it possible that in 2022 we have to have an organization get onto Twitter and say, "Don't be racist"?
Oh,
like
Jesus!
I struggle to understand that. I truly struggle to understand that we are there in 2022.
Well, besides just being morally wrong, I struggle to see how someone can watch any amount of Star Wars and enjoy it and still be racist. Like if they're just watching it at such a superficial level or something, like I just that surprises me too.
Well, and I also think with the character of Reva specifically, I think what makes me mad is that if I think her character like is almost what they wanted Boba Fett to do in Book of Boba Fett, and got mad when he they wanted Boba Fett to be a ruthless hunter, and that's what she is, and she's doing it really well, but they don't like it. Like it's like you complained because they were making all these characters too soft and like not cool enough for you, and here's a character who is really cool, and she's badass, and she's gonna threaten people, and she's gonna cut off someone's hand for disrespecting her. That's what you wanted for Boba Fett, and you're getting it in a different character, and I'm not like, and it works so much better for her character than it did for Boba Fett, or whatever for Boba Fett.
I just can't believe the audacity of some people to actually put that into writing and send that to her in her DMs. It's like that's it. First off, it's a fictional universe that you're attacking someone who's just playing a character for. And just because you don't like the character doesn't mean you have to attack the actor. I thought we'd learn this lesson with Ahmed Best, Jake Lloyd, Hayden Christensen. The list is endless.
Yeah.
Kelly Marie Tran as well. I mean, it's ridiculous that, like you said, Ken, it's 2022. How is this still happening?
Well, and also, like, even if you genuinely don't like this character, A, it's already filmed. You can't change what they're going to release. B, she didn't write it. She showed up, got her, did her job, did what they told her to do, and cut her check. Like, she didn't, not that you should have attacked the writers or anything, but it's like this vitriol against her. It's like, what do you think you're doing? You're having no impact except upsetting someone who didn't do anything wrong.
If you truly dislike a character, like if the character is that strong, then in some way the actor did a good job. Like if you that character, like when people hated Jar Jar so much in the first one, I used to always think, well, then George Lucas did such a great job because the special effects were so good that Jar Jar annoyed them. They weren't even talking about the special effects part,
And I was watching. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just amazed after watching those first two episodes why anyone would hate her. I mean, she was probably my favorite character in the show.
How can anyone have that level of vitriol for any of those characters, considering how little there has been? I mean, other than, let's say, Obi-Wan or whatever. But
Yeah.
I mean, it's a brand new show. How can people have that much hate in their heart in such a short period of time? To just, I don't know. I don't get it. I will never understand it.
Yeah, I was watching the Heavy Spoilers show, as I do every Wednesday morning after watching the episode. And he I think he put it best. Yes, Reva might be an annoying character, but that's the point.
Yep.
She's supposed to be annoying. She's supposed to get on the nerves of the Inquisitors and Obi-Wan and Darth Vader. That's the point of the character. So I think people and like Blake said, I think there's only 3 episodes. Like, give it some time to marinate. Like I said to Ken on what was it? I believe it was either Friday or Saturday. I had reservations about the show after the first 2 episodes. I wasn't 100% on board after the first 2 episodes, but there were only 2 episodes, so I'm like, I'm gonna hold my judgment until I see more. And those reservations have been completely put to the side after this 3rd episode. So
Well, and I like that line that she gives about how the Jedi will give themselves away. And if anyone hasn't seen the last, you both saw today's, right?
Mhm.
Everyone saw today's episode.
Oh, there was an episode today?
Did you see it? No, but that's what Vader was doing when he was walking down that street. He was killing random people, hoping that Obi-Wan would Jedi out and come busting out.
and I think it's really good that they haven't actually, or he hasn't acted on that. I think that really, how do I want to put this? It's put him in a different character than he was in the prequels. So he's not so ready to help everyone.
What shows how far he's been beaten out of the Order. Like, you know what I mean? It shows how beaten and broken he is. And Blake said something about the Grand Inquisitor. I don't think we've seen the last of the Grand Inquisitor.
Well, we haven't. He's in Rebels.
Right. I mean, that's just,
He's in a bacta tank somewhere. The same way Cobb Vanth was.
Yeah.
He's
Or a funnier note, Zoe, did you tell the Ahsoka story from the Ahsoka panel?
Oh, after the panel from the fire alarm.
Well, that's a good story too. Let me check that out.
Do we still have the echo? Yep.
No.
Well,
Let me see.
we were in the queue for the Ahsoka panel, and we'd been waiting for a little bit, not long. And I turned to my dad and I'm like, this is going really well so far. Like, because I just like we got into their big panel, then we're in line for this panel. I just secured a reservation for the Mandalorian experience. I'm like, this is going really well so far. And then the fire alarm, even 10 seconds later, it was so instant. The fire alarm goes off, and we have to evacuate the building.
You tempted the fates.
I really did.
How's the echo now, guys?
Is it better?
I think it's better.
Yeah, I think it's better.
Yeah,
I think I had my headphones turned up too loud, and it was coming through. This mic is up like a fly fart.
Yeah, so as far as the Grand Inquisitor, I think I could almost see him coming back at like the very end when all the other Inquisitors are like really fighting over his place or something, and then he comes back and they have to kind of fall in line and they're like all resentful. And
I'm very torn on the decision to kill the Grand Inquisitor, because on one hand I'm like, okay, that was kind of unnecessary in the grand scheme of things, but in an isolated story aspect, kill off the Grand Inquisitor, put more focus on Reva, the fifth brother, and their internal conflict. So I'm very torn on that.
Well, also to think about what the Inquisitors are and were. So the Inquisitors were, from what I understand, were trained as Jedi. Trained to be selfless, trained to use the Force, and now they're attacking each other because of their their quest for power, their lust for, being in the good graces of Darth Vader.
Well, yeah, and I think like it was, as far as for this story, I think it's a good way to just get him out of the way, and so we can spotlight Reva more, and he's not going to be interfering as much and taking the stage, or taking the spotlight from her. And then also I think we get from that, I think we get to see the squabbling within the Inquisitorius, and how fragile their alliance really is. It's like, we talk about like the Sith, and they have this rule of two, and the apprentice kills the master, and it's this unstable bond because they're so selfish and just looking for their own power. And I think we get to like examine that with the Inquisitorius. Once there's a power vacuum there, everything, like the curtain was pulled back, and we get to see what they really are.
Do you think Reva was in the first scene in the temple?
Yes,
100%.
I think, because I was saying this, Axel and I recorded a podcast last night about it that I think will go up Friday. But I was saying, like, the fact that we see like this specific group of younglings, nothing to do with Obi-Wan, this specific group of younglings, and they highlight them. I think one of them was Reva. And my personal theory is I think they were hiding somewhere in the temple or something, and while they're hiding, they see Obi-Wan send the message to stay away from the temple, and that's why Reva, because I think her hatred for Obi-Wan, it just, to me, at least the way I feel like she's playing it, feels a bit more personal than just trying to impress Vader. That's at least how I read it. Like, I think it's very personal for her.
Yeah, she's been very very quiet about like what her actual intentions are and what her motives are, and I think they're intentionally vague because it's going to be some personal vendetta.
Mm-hmm.
So I was thinking similar train of thought of she was one of the younglings, and they were hiding in the temple, and Yoda and Obi-Wan just refused to help them after they were slaughtering the 501st throughout the temple, and just essentially just told them to run and don't look back. So
see, for me, I might have a hard time believing Yoda would do that.
true.
Well, they
I
might
think.
have perceived. It might be more perception.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I could see something like that. I would just have a hard time believing, like, Obi-Wan, maybe at that point, but I don't think that's ever in Yoda's character to say.
If you
right,
think about the other masters during Order 66, even Caleb Doom's master told him to run.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I wouldn't put it I wouldn't doubt it if I saw it. If the folks from Lucasfilm and Disney decided to put Yoda and Obi-Wan in that situation and told them to run, it would make perfect sense.
Yeah.
I did find it very, very interesting, though, that Obi-Wan had gotten to the place where he was unwilling to help a Jedi after 10 years.
Yeah.
And just telling him to go when the Jedi was in front of him begging for help.
Mm.
That just kind of shows how focused Obi-Wan is on, only paying attention truly to Luke.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Blake's question: thoughts on Quinlan Voss coming back? As soon as he said Quinlan, I sat up. Like, I was laying back, like, I'm watching Obi-Wan, and they said Quinlan, and I was like, Quinlan?
Yeah.
Quinlan Voss?
Yeah, we figured Sal. He hadn't watched it yet, but we figured Sal was probably flipping out too.
Yeah,
but let's go back to the first day, because I will show you one of the things.
I'll just say I don't know if we'll get him in this series. I would love to. I would hope so, but I mean, ever since they mentioned him on the list of Jedi survivors in that one Darth Vader comic a couple years back, I've been waiting, and I'm excited because he's just a cool guy. And Dark Disciple made me really fall in love with him. So,
what are the
one
two
of the things I dislike about that book? A whole nother ab plate for a TK. Totally different from any other TK I've ever seen. I've never seen a TK with the slit right here.
At the Mandalorian
Whatever
experience,
this
you could tell
is.
who was in a costume group because they were like on random buckles, like taking pictures, like
Oh yeah.
close to the can on like someone's boot, and everyone else is like, "Oh, this is a cool costume. Let me take a picture of it." And they're like, to get that exact rivet in placement, the hold of a ruler.
No, but look at the strips are tapered with an inlay.
Well, I don't like it. It's so different.
I know. I was like, okay, there's another CRL for us. Let's see if they have. This was a life-size face. Excuse me, I have a coughing fit. Life-size face, you know.
Why didn't we get more Danny Trejo in the Book of Boba Fett?
I know. Well, it could be coming. Trapper Wolf.
Yes. We need more Trapper Wolf. I'll just say it.
I'm curious about the in-universe. I know that obviously the actual reason why he has the wolf pack symbol on his helmet because it's Filoni, but I would love to know. Here's my Trapper Wolf theory, is that as a kid he was saved by wolf pack clones on his planet from separatist droids, and he took their symbol for his helmet. That's my Trapper Wolf theory.
So after that panel, we did get to see a couple more costumes.
We basically went almost straight from Mandalorian experience to line up for Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
And get ready for that in that
Then we
premiere.
came out and saw these guys.
I will say one thing from Celebration has had me more anticipating the next theater release of anything Star Wars, because just that being in a group of people and we all cheer, and you can hear everyone like gasp and everything when things happen. I've been getting a little bit of that theater experience with Marvel, but I need it back with Star Wars too.
Yeah, I had a conversation with a couple of buddies of mine because they essentially strong-armed me into watching the first episode of Obi-Wan with them because I didn't realize it was dropping a couple hours early. But I was telling them, like, yeah, everyone who was at Celebration for the most part got to see the first two episodes in like a big theater, and they're like, why would you want to see a TV show in a movie theater?
Like, why not? I mean, considering the production quality, I mean, just look at that Mandalorian experience alone.
Yep.
They didn't phone it in. They made some beautiful things for that, and that's just the ones they're featuring. Imagine, like I was talking earlier about all the citizens or the random props of the roasted Kowakian monkey lizard and all of that kind of stuff.
It's also the stuff they're not currently using, because they said they couldn't bring all of it because they're using some of it right now on like Ahsoka and stuff. So
like the production quality was like one of my first points of contention was some of these, like, per capita spend more than they do on the like production films.
Oh yeah.
On these shows. Not to mention just like the atmosphere of being around like-minded people watching the same thing all at once. Because how many people do you think were in that theater watching those episodes?
Well, I mean, there was like that huge arena, everyone watching in the arena, and then our big panel room. There's another big panel room,
And then what? So that's all we did. We went to the podcast meetup for a few minutes Thursday, but it was just crazy crowded. Right, Zoe?
Yeah, well, because the problem was because they surprise announced like 7:00, come back and watch Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
The problem was a lot of the like costume group meetups, the podcaster meetups were at like 7, 8 o'clock that night. And so, because no one knew they were going to do anything. And obviously everyone's like, yeah, I'm going to go to Obi-Wan. I'm not like, yeah, you guys have fun. Like, I got this wristband. I'm going to Obi-Wan, you know?
And I would go to the Obi-Wan just for what John was talking about earlier. This idea of seeing it live with fellow fans, and
I mean, exactly.
in a situation like that, knowing that you're getting to see it before anybody in the world does. That doesn't happen every day.
Yeah. And yeah, so a lot of those like meetups and stuff got kind of screwed. Because I would be shocked if there was a single person that was like, I could go to see Obi-Wan at 7. I'm gonna go to this meetup instead. You know, like obviously we're gonna go see Obi-Wan.
Well, I think the people that organized them had to go, but
yeah, some people did have to go, but like
we swung in the podcaster one for a few, but we didn't really see anyone we knew. I think we saw Dan Z from Coffee with Kenobi.
Saw Fantha Tracks people.
And Bantha Tracks people, and Ann Convery was there. And that was about
Not the
it.
guys from Star Wars in Character or Blast Points.
They were probably there. The other thing is,
it was very crowded.
It was at the Hilton, so the 501st there was a whole bunch of 501st guys meeting there. Mando Merck's meeting there. Like everybody decided to meet at the Hilton that day.
Oh, okay.
It was, you were having conversations like 5 feet apart and couldn't hear what someone was saying. So, but
yeah, and I've, thanks to COVID and even before COVID, I've never been a fan of that kind of a crowd.
Yeah,
where you're literally shoulder to shoulder, or you have a hard time here. No thanks.
And then I think we went and got food. My only complaint with the Anaheim, I like the Anaheim the way it's set up because you check in and then there's a whole outside area. You don't have to keep going in with your passes in the building and stuff. So we just walked around with the costumes and stuff. But then we went to bed and got up for Friday, and we mainly just tried to walk the floor most of Friday, right? So we went over to the car. Zoe was in costume because there was that Friday was the Sabine meetup, right? Or the
when was the Rebels picture?
No, the Rebels was Saturday.
Okay.
No, Friday I was in Sabine, and then that was the day I think I switched to Cara.
Oh, right. Okay.
Halfway through.
Cara Dune?
No, Cara from Star Wars Visions.
Oh, okay.
I had like a handful of people that were like, "Oh my God, you're Cara," and I was like, "Yes."
My favorite vehicle.
How did you guys end up transporting Sabine to Anaheim?
Checked suitcase and the helmet and the carry-on.
So we took a giant suitcase and bubble wrapped everything, and then we took pictures of Sabine and put a label, a paper on top saying there's fake guns in here for this costume. But I think with the new scanners, if you have an all plastic gun, it probably doesn't pick it up.
Right.
Like the old scanners just look for shapes and stuff. I think they're a little better than that. But yeah, this was the Sabine Jeep.
That looks like Ezra's costume when he was in the Biker Scout.
And then this was the car painted like the Ghost. And I watched this guy paint it on TikTok. He was painting it out in his driveway.
Blake said thoughts on Babu Frick in Mando Season 3. I'm very excited. I've been a Babu Frick fan since Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah.
I love everything Babu Frick. I think he should get his own spin-off personally, but I hope he and Grogu are best friends.
And then this was driving around. This probe droid was driving around.
Do you think Frick's show should be friends with friends of Frick?
Yeah.
Or do you think he has a cousin that's named Frack? And it'll just be the adventures of Frick and Frack.
Well, you could also have Freck in there too.
Oh yeah.
So the Belgians built the stage this year because they didn't bring the Falcon. So they built the celebration stage or the fan stage or whatever it's called.
Yeah, and Tom
Live
Spina did a bunch
stage.
of the props.
Yeah. So this thing is probably like 6 foot tall.
Jeez.
There's Zoe and her. One of our Star Wars stories.
Father and son. Is that the Father and Son podcasters or no?
No, he was in our Star Wars stories.
Oh,
Brandon,
gotcha.
Him and his son. We just ran into him on the floor. That's just a bad picture.
Ah, the vintage R2.
Oh, the life-size vintage. Yeah.
Love that.
It's so shiny.
My next car.
Which one? Are you gonna get the white one or
Well,
the black?
They're not making either of these. These weren't even real cars. They were just big plastic shells.
Mm.
But they were cool to look at.
So they're essentially Hot Wheels.
Well,
Yeah.
and that booth had all of the Inquisitor costumes from Obi-Wan, as well as the Obi-Wan costume.
Zoe and some tall Jawas.
Tutini. Where's the trench coat?
That's a good costume.
That's
man.
funny.
Honestly, every picture I took, I could have taken 10 more of different stuff. Like it was tons.
Blake said Professor in Ahsoka. That's the character I didn't see again, but I'm very excited to see again. And I hope David Tennant's back to voice him.
Yeah, these guys, I really like their stuff.
The
We
lounge
didn't get into that
backpack.
show either. Yeah, Anthony, I got some orange jumpsuits to go with that helmet of yours. The other weird thing they did, so facing the stage was all the fan groups, which was kind of cool, except they had to keep the lights down for the stage, so you couldn't see the fans that well. Oh yeah, I remember that was a very good Bo-Katan. That was all handmade. And that was one of the only Resistance people we saw the whole week.
That's surprising to me.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, the Temple Guard is cool.
Now, Zoe, did you tell them the Ahsoka story from the panel when I talked to that one girl?
Oh, so you actually have it down there with you. We just received a set of a Ahsoka headpiece, which I wasn't going to talk about on any podcast or anything.
Well,
I was going to make a surprise, but and we
only 7 people listen to this, so it's okay.
So,
we were walking,
and Kathleen Kennedy, so you might want to.
Yeah, we were walking out of the one panel, or no, this was during the fire alarm. When we were walking out during the fire alarm, I mentioned earlier, and we saw a girl in an Ahsoka costume, and her headpiece looked really similar to the one we had just gotten. And so we asked, like, "Oh, is that a KM creation?" And she's like, "Well, yeah, I am KM." So we're like, "Oh my gosh, like, it's nice to meet you," because we love the headpiece and stuff. And my dad said, he's like, "Yeah, I was probably, the one sending you all those annoying messages all the time." And she goes, "Oh, Mike." And that made my day.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, first name basis. How about the Inflatable Falcon people? Did you talk to them?
We did.
I don't think if he knew if he was going to call security or what.
Because we were walking on the floor, and I saw a little, and he's like, "Oh, look at that little inflatable Star Wars thing," and I was like, "Yeah, I think that's the Inflatable Falcon people." We go over, and they have like a binder and stuff with like the Inflatable Falcon in it and everything.
So did you like get selfies with them and stuff? Come on, where are those pictures?
Yeah, where are the details? Come on.
I think I just have one picture of me standing at the stand, but he wasn't. He didn't seem as enthralled. Like I was talking to him about it, and I don't think he understood why we were so excited. He was trying to sell that little tiny thing next to him.
That was 40% off.
It was all
Did he
on
realize
sale.
where he
I don't
was?
know.
Like, did he know he was at Celebration? Like this Star Wars shindig, the biggest in the galaxy?
Yeah, I think he thought I was a little weird for being excited about the inflatable Falcon. Like
Well, yes,
I
and
mean, because the other one, I'm looking to see if I have a picture of it. The other one was just it was literally every bouncy house with Star Wars logo on it.
Yeah, they can't all be the inflatable Falcon.
Right.
see, I think it's a missed opportunity that they didn't bring it.
Oh, I
Right?
agree. I agree 100%.
Put the inflatable Falcon next to the TIE Fighter? Come on. It's a win-win.
Put it under the TIE Fighter. You bounce right into the top of the TIE Fighter.
Oh,
That's the only way you get into the cockpit.
I'm flipping through the droid room right now.
So we had spent some time watching some of the live stuff, and then on Sunday they do the wrap-up video like they always do, and I'm sitting on the couch, and Heather looks at me, she's like, "Are you crying?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm crying because I wasn't there. I didn't get to participate in any of this stuff." And they're wrapping it up, and they got all these great costume pictures and all these family pictures, and you know, just really really cool stuff. I'm like, "Yeah, I'm crying because I didn't get to go."
It was a fun time. Man, we were beat.
I was telling them about how I passed out on the couch watching Obi-Wan. And I wanted to stay awake. I was trying. I wanted to watch Obi-Wan. I just couldn't make it.
Was it my imagination, or was there more of a sense of, at least with the stuff that they were showing on the Star Wars live stage, really pushing the positivity and the family focus and the support that everybody shows? Because that seemed more than usual. I mean, I know that they brag about the stars brag about the fans, but it seemed like it was a little bit more extra this year than in years past.
I mean, honestly, that's all I felt this time. And I don't know if it felt like more than usual because it's been so long since we've had Celebration, and but I felt that I didn't watch the live stream because I was there, but I think it was warranted at Celebration. Everyone was just very friendly and nice. We were like every line we were in, and we were in a lot. We would just talk to people about what we liked, and just there's just a lot of positive energy. And seeing all the kids and stuff that were there, it was really cute. I like the strollers dressed up as like TIE fighters or the Falcon or stuff like that. Also, shout out to anyone who did a Geode cosplay.
Yeah, they were funny. They're just like a big rock painted piece of cardboard. But I also think the negative fans, the small percentage, have run amok of all the Star Wars for the last couple of years. I don't even think Star Wars tried. If you listen to Zoe's panel at on YouTube or on
which is up now, it's up, it's all uploaded now.
They didn't say to us, "Hey, you need to have this positive theme. You need to." That's just what we decided on. And then Steele Saunders came in and he talked, and he went that same direction on her podcast. And then you listen to the Father and Son podcast that was right after ours, and it was that same. It was almost like someone said, "Look, we need all the podcasts to have this same theme," and none of us planned it together. It's just what came out, and I think that's what happened, like with this celebration. I think people just wanted to because I think people just really were thinking why they love Star Wars. Like people were just grinning on the floor, and I know I look like death warmed over because I was running on like pure adrenaline, no food, no water, and I know I was grinning from ear to ears too. So
Mm.
you know,
And it wasn't even like Thursday for us was a really awesome day because we got to see all the like exclusive stuff and we got to see the experience and Kenobi and stuff. But even outside of just getting to see cool Star Wars like exclusive new things and like the panels and stuff, like Friday and Saturday, I don't think we went to any panels, maybe one. Maybe. But we just were like it was just like seeing people and getting to talk to people and seeing how creative everyone was with their costumes and how hard everyone worked. Like, like that was the energy there, easily.
I mean, look at this costume, Borgullet.
Oh.
Borgullet. Oh
I mean,
my
how
God.
can you not smile when you see Borgullet coming down the thing?
Mm-hmm. Or even like, and I said this in our podcast, but like characters that if you just kind of pay attention to, what people on the internet say, characters that you think everyone hates, were so represented. I think I saw more Rays than anything else. There were solo cosplayers everywhere. You couldn't turn around without seeing a solo Han.
Jackson.
Jackson.
There were two separate Jackson the Space Bunnies. But there was
Did anybody
there
do
was,
Lop and Opso?
I did see a Lop actually. I didn't see an Ocho, I don't think, but I did see a
that's
Lop.
what it is.
But like there were so many Rose Chicos. Like everywhere you looked, there was another Star Wars something that, if you just pay attention to the internet, everyone's like, oh, everyone hates Solo. Like, Rey sucks. No one likes Rose. But there were so many people showing their love for those characters there,
I hope that the speed at which things attain their positivity gets faster. So this year, the 20th anniversary of Attack of the Clones, it seems like there's a lot of prequel love. Well, I want to see the love for the sequels. I want to see the love for Solo. I want to see the love for Resistance. Like I just because so much time, effort, and energy gets put into them, whether it's the artists, the carpenters, the seamstresses, that they're worthy of, deserving of the attention and the love, and for folks to be able to openly, comfortably say what they enjoyed about it and why.
There's me with another Kara. Her mom was in a really awesome second sister costume, and she comes up and she's like, "My daughter's dressed exactly like you. We need to get a picture."
That's so cool.
Well, and Ken, what you said on Axel, when Axel was talking on Zoe's podcast, he mentioned which movie he didn't like, and then he moved on. Like he showed like a perfect example of how if you don't like something, it's fine, but then talk about what you like, and kind of to lead into what you were saying, like it just was a positive experience. I mean, and there was every level of cosplay, and it was fun.
Did the guy who dressed like the four-arm character from, or was it Six Arms from the holiday special?
Oh, the stir whip.
Yeah.
Yes, he was there.
And I got excited every single time I saw.
Again, I needed to 2 cameras.
Or like a 360 camera or something like that.
But I needed but I couldn't even because I also didn't want to realize I didn't want to spend my whole time just looking through my phone too.
Mm-hmm.
So I tried to get as many as I could. Like this is another one that I just really.
Well, that's what I like now is telling Zoe and John while you were taking a quick break. This is the fun time because now everyone is sharing their pictures from Celebration because now they have the time to do it because they're not in the heat of the moment.
Yeah.
Where did those Rhodians come from? What family is that? I forgot.
I didn't recognize them.
They were just I think they just made up a family of Rhodians.
That's awesome.
And then the costumes. I mean, this is still one of my favorite costumes. I looked at this thing all week. The Ursa Wren.
The Rebels cosplay meetup was pretty awesome.
There wasn't enough Vaders for me though. I could have used a couple more Vaders.
Speaking of which, how's the work in progress?
I just got to get my butt in gear. Like now, I don't have Celebration as an excuse not to do any work. So
You better not be using the Tuscan party as an excuse neither.
nah, Tuscan party. That's the only thing I'm messed up with is I have 0 filament right now.
You
So,
didn't order another
I
batch
ordered
yet.
$400 or $200 worth of filament. It hasn't gotten here yet.
Oh,
And I'm a little.
Tomorrow there's going to be a knock on the door while you're at work, and there's just going
I
to be a
hope so.
pile of filament out front.
And then so
have to bring
we ran into Matt Martin and Jordan Hembrow a bunch of times, which was fun. And Matt, gives Zoe encouraging words and stuff like that for her career. And we ran into. I got a compliment on my paint job on Zoe's Sabine helmet from one of the painters from The Mandalorian, which was pretty cool. It does it for the TV show. We ran into him, which was cool.
Blake
And
just
then
asked
when
for
we
thoughts on James Earl Jones as back as Vader. Just incredible. He was also the voice of Vader in Rebels too, and anytime he can come back, top tier.
Yeah, and then we I'm trying to think what else we ran into. Well, yeah, then Sal did a stage show for Lucasfilm, which was fun.
Which stage show did he do?
He was the one. I think it was supposed to be in the live stream. He was training youngling,
Well, no, I
training
think
you
they
on
filmed
how
it
to.
and they were going to cut it together.
I thought they were going to cut it together for the live stream. I don't know.
Oh, maybe. I thought it was for the live stream over on the kids stage.
I don't know.
There he is in his Jedi garb.
Is he a Disney cast member?
Nope.
No, but those are Disney Jedi robes because he didn't have his own set of standard Jedi robes because he does Voss or Kanan.
Yeah. So he got to do a show with them. We watched him do a lot of the cut scenes. And then this group of guys was good too. The Ghostbusters.
Oh yeah, I saw a picture of them with the Force ghost of Luke, Obi-Wan, and someone else.
Mace Windu in a purple Force ghost aura.
Yeah,
I thought that was hysterical. I was looking at that at work, and I was just. Everyone looks at me whenever I laugh at things on Facebook, and that one got a good kick out of me.
Oh, and then we met up with we ran into the Dorky Diva, and she finished her
Zam Wessel. It was funny because I was like, "Oh, look at that really good Zam Wessel. We should get a picture." And I walk up, and I'm like, "Oh my God, it's Savannah."
Yeah, that was a really nice Zam. But she has a good podcast too, Dorky Diva podcast. I think she used to work for Ashley Eckstein, I think.
Now, I do have a question. So, I thought they had a mandate where you couldn't wear a costume that covered your face.
They changed that like last minute.
Ah.
And also, they weren't really enforcing much of anything at all.
They were enforcing the mask rule while you walked in the door.
Yeah, once you got in, we wore masks, but a lot of people were just walking around. And even so, like there's times we were outside, so I didn't have it on, and then I was walking in, and I was like, we had been in for like 20 minutes, and I was like, oh crap, I forgot to put my mask on, and like after and I'm in Sabine, so I'm like juggling my helmet.
Yeah, I truthfully I didn't think they were gonna force it. too
Well,
hard.
I think they were just being cautious because if they had to enforce it, I think they would have rather people thought it was going to be enforced rather than you show up and they say, "Guess what? You can't wear your suit." You know.
Right.
How much fun did you guys have at Disneyland with Anthony?
Well, we only saw him. We just saw him in downtown Disney,
Oh,
which
okay.
was a lot of fun. We just talked to him, and then we went to
That's cool.
the Outpost. We didn't get tickets for the late night with whatever the Disney thing because they were sold out. But yeah, he was a lot of fun. It was nice meeting him up there, and um, we were kind of like that. We didn't have a schedule, but we didn't stop moving. So people were like, "What are you doing?" We're like, "We're going."
Yeah, stuff to see.
Yeah, I can sleep when I'm home. Trying to find the.
Did you bump into any of the stars?
Just Jordan.
No, just Jordan.
There's Jordan.
Jordan took a really good picture because everyone just kind of happened to converge. It was us, FJ, Jordan, and Matt.
Yeah.
He took a really good picture. I think I posted it on my Instagram. He took a really good picture. Yeah, that girl, she crocheted her whole
Oh
hair
yeah.
headpiece.
Yeah,
It
she
was
was
pretty
so
cool.
nice. And all the costume people were nice because everyone was at a different level. There was some better than everyone and some not as but everyone just came together and just loved each other's costumes. See if Chopper, there's a good old Chopper.
Mm.
I was so excited because we went through the droid room, which was phenomenal. But I was like, I can't touch any. But with the Chopper, like the Chopper's owner was right there, so I was like, can I put my hand on him? Can I touch Chopper for a picture?
Here, look. So here was a Wonder Woman.
Oh, she was cool.
The Wonder Woman Mando. But what got me was her jetpack.
Oh, that's funny. That's really clever.
Another Sabine. And when we were on the floor, people had seen the Sabine in the trailer. They were bringing their phone up to show Zoe, people we didn't even know, so she could see the trailer of Sabine. I'm trying to see if we have any. There's FJ right there.
Max.
Every time I found an Ezra, I would be like, I found you. Oh, there's the
Yeah, these
Inquisitor.
are by the Volkswagen.
So, fun fact: the Grand Inquisitor, how the inside of his cape is red. When we get close up to it, I don't know if you had a picture of it.
I don't think I did.
It's just tons of tiny little Imperial symbols embroidered
Oh wow.
in the whole red part of the
Oh,
cape.
that's Dominic Pace.
That is. Dominic Pace was roaming around as.
So you did meet a star.
Yeah.
Yes, we did, and
Well,
we did run into Ajax Citizen.
Yeah, we had Ajax Citizen on our show. That's Steele Saunders' part on Obi-Wan Kenobi, because he was in the Obi-Wan Kenobi show.
Yeah, I'm waiting for John and Dave to call us in.
Yeah. Well,
You guys could play inflatable starship salesman.
yeah, mechanics. We just go with one of those little foot pumps.
Inflator 1 and
That's an
Inflator
awesome
2.
Ursa helmet.
Oh, nice meme. That's awesome.
Animated Boba Fett.
Nice.
I got one shot ahead of Pop Trooper. I didn't see him, he wasn't around as much as previous celebrations.
Well, he and Dude Vader are super famous now, so.
Yeah. There's Axel in his Cobb Vanth. this is the meetup. This is the
our Spider-Man pictures. Yeah, that was the one girl. She comes over and she's like, "Season 3 Sabine, come over here." Then she like goes grabs another one. She's like, "We need to do the Spider-Man picture."
we had one Zeb and one Hot Callus, and we had Dave Filoni too.
Did you guys get to see the person dressed like George Lucas?
Yep.
Yes.
He had a line. He had a line of people getting pictures with him.
Well, that was one really sweet thing because we did like the whole group of Rebels, and then we did like just Ezra, just Sabine, just Kanan, just Harris. And one person came over and was like, "Can we have the Kanans and Harris come back for a picture? Because our son's named Kanan." And it was a little baby dressed as Dave with a tiny little hat and a little Wolfpack shirt.
Yeah, there's the spray paint trooper. Yeah, there's a bunch of Sabines.
I don't think I've been on that part of the convention center.
This was on the second floor.
It was on the roof. We got some
okay.
really good pictures with that Hera.
Yeah, this is a really good Hera.
We got some really awesome pictures with her.
So we're not flipping through pictures the whole time.
I still really want to do a Kanan, but I'm very conflicted on cutting my hair.
Well, just do the
Wig.
ponytail.
Just wear a wig.
Wig.
I can't do wigs.
Do
Yeah,
the ponytail one. Just
right.
do the
But
Or you could do the Lothcat painted Stormtrooper helmet.
Yeah.
True. See, my big thing is like I want to cut my hair for Kylo, which that is happening, by the way. I was gonna message Marty today, but then I saw it was his wedding anniversary, so I'm like, I'm not gonna bug him today. So, but yeah, that is happening. But I want to cut my hair for Kylo.
You also, I mean, Sal Perales does an awesome Kanan. He cut it a little bit, but he had hair down to like his waist, and his Kanan was still sick.
So there's Chris Bartlett. And then the plus side to Chris Bartlett.
We did run into Chris Bartlett, yeah, I forgot.
Yeah, he's all the droids, you know. But the plus side is I went to let me see. Did I put that Chris Bartlett up? There it is. I went to the Innovos table, you know, or whatever the new company is, because they owe me for the Gin Urso soft goods. So they messaged me back today and said I can either get credit for this outfit or any helmet they sell, they'll send me. So I told them I'll send me a Sabine helmet.
Oh.
So the Sabine,
Which one?
I could have got a Mando helmet right away because they're in
Which
stock.
one? Which
but
one?
I told them I'd take the Sabine.
Which one?
That's whatever one they had. Was that season 2?
The one that they had on display there.
Yeah.
That was season 2.
Yeah, so they're sending me a season 2 helmet. So that company's taking care of all the old Novos problems.
How long did it take you to get that? 3 years?
No, when did Rogue One come out?
We ordered it in 2017.
Yeah.
I'll be right back.
I did not realize that you ordered it that long ago.
Maybe January 2018, maybe.
No,
But I think 2017.
But
Rogue One came out in 2016. So if anything, it would have been
That's
January.
right. No, yeah, you're right. It was 20.
I don't know. I can look it up. But the company
think
they're trying to make it right for every Novos error.
There was a lot of them.
Are they still making TK kits?
Not yet, but they will. But they do make TK neck seals that are in stock that are nice.
No, is it the same one? Is it pretty much the same one that you have?
Yeah, the big foam top with the heavy
Yeah.
neck seal. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm not thrilled with mine, so I might.
yeah. I would look at their stuff. Their Krennic is beautiful, and it's not expensive.
Meaning,
Like you're talking like under $500, where a Novos it would have been $500 just for the shirt.
stop it.
Like, I think
Say
it
psych
costs like
right now.
200 or less. What I don't know. It wasn't crazy priced. Now their helmets are like $750 or $650 or something like that.
Yeah, but I mean, if they're nice helmets, that's
Yeah.
that's reasonable.
Well, again, if I would have taken the Mando helmet, I probably would have got it next week. But the Black Series Mando helmet's beautiful.
Yeah, Mike, I'm sending you guys a picture in the group chat that is from that was March 18th of 2017.
Oh, nice. I see it.
You telling me there's I have to buy a winter car. I have to get another car.
Yeah.
I can't drop $2,000 on costumes, but I will. I'm already awaiting the backlash when my dad finds out that, hey, by the way, I spent $1,500 on a Kylo Ren costume. When that very much so could have bought me a car already.
Well,
I gotta join the 501st, and Marty's Kylo Ren is fantastic.
Yeah, it is nice. Oh, here, I'm going to just put this picture up. This is my favorite Mando of the weekend, though.
The little gold guy?
The World War II one.
Oh, wow.
That's awesome.
So, it's all World War II kitted up. It has, like, the World War II dog tags. The helmet liner is an old World War II helmet liner. Like, when I was walking behind him, you could see the label. But here's the back. It's the jetpack, but it has the bedroll, everything.
I like the boots.
Yeah, it has like jump boots with the stuff on it. It's pretty cool. So
I wish I could have been there. I would have been so happy.
it was a good time. Yeah, like I said, the London thing for me is just, I don't know.
It's a hard sell.
Oh, virtual cookie, cool. Yeah, it's not really, I don't know. Again, we don't know what Zoe's going to be doing because Zoe graduates in December, so she might not be able to go, and I know Sappy won't be able to go. So,
Well, the Rad Batch may be there.
huh?
We're making plans for the guys from our show to go.
Yeah, Anthony was trying to give me the hard sell, and I would like to go, but it's just.
Ken, maybe me and you can go this year, and while Mike and Zoe have to stay at home.
And we'll take more and better pictures.
Oh, that's good too. That's not hard to do.
Yeah, I need to go to Celebration. I mean, but like you always say, once you go to one, it's hard not to go to them all.
Oh yeah, and you will get spoiled. You truly will, because it's like no other event.
Yeah.
So Heather and I have been to 3. We've been to Anaheim, Orlando, and Chicago. And in Chicago, we were only there for one day. And the day after, I complained because I was only able to go for one day. So I mean, and I know it sounds like a little child, but it's just so much to see and so much to do. And believe me, I enjoyed that one day. I mean, I dressed as a Jedi. I got pictures with Ahmed Best and Paul Bettany, and Heather and I ran around like fiends, just trying to see as much as we could in that one day, and it was absolutely wonderful. But yeah, you need to experience it firsthand, so you have a better sense of what we're talking about.
Yeah, and I think I could use Celebration next year as an excuse to finally get out of the country. However, my biggest problem is I don't like flying. I've never been, and it just petrifies me.
Well, you could swim.
It's not
True.
scary, honestly.
Take a
I'm not a
boat.
big fan of flying. It's just so, I don't know. Like I don't like it either. Like I mean, but it's like it's unfortunately it's necessary.
Right. I could, like Zoe said, I could always charter a boat.
But didn't Greta Grunberg or whatever come across the Atlantic in a boat?
Maybe, yeah. There's Zoe and Matt Martin.
I like his tattoos.
Oh, he's a big
He has
tattoo
some
guy.
awesome tattoos. He said he'll hook me up with good artists in LA.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, a good artist in LA is probably a dime a dozen. I mean, that's where all the artists go.
Right.
Well,
Good
he was
Star Wars
so
artist, I should say.
He was just so kind to Zoe because it was his day off, and he was standing. I was talking to him, and I was like, "Oh, I want to get a picture of you and Zoe," and Zoe wasn't there yet. He said, "Oh, wait, you know," and he hung
Oh
out.
yeah, I was
for
at the
a
Bad
while.
Batch panel.
Yeah, he hung out for a while, and yeah, he was a good guy. And then we did our panel. Justin Bolger, I don't know if you guys know who he is. He's an old Star Wars podcaster from way back. He works for Lucasfilm now. He sat in on Zoe's panel as well. I didn't get to see how many people were at Zoe's panel, but it was pretty full. Like Steele Saunders came in, and then Steele.
Eric
so
Struthers from Bad Motivators was there.
Yeah, Bad Motivators. I'm wearing a shirt. Steele then, he showed Zoe the video. He's going to send it to us. He interviewed for Australian television, I guess it was. The actress that plays Ahsoka.
Rosario Dawson and Natasha Liu Bordizzo,
Yeah,
who's going to be playing live action
He told him
Sabine.
about the girls' podcast, which I thought was pretty cool. So it was a good day overall.
What did you guys get to see the Bad Batch cosplayers?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, that's the people. So the guy who does Hunter, I know him. I ran into him at the hotel because him and he started. We both kind of came up 3D printing together over the years, and then the other ones were the Death Watch girl and her mom were in that group as well. That's why she couldn't do Zoe's panel because Lucasfilm contacted them and wanted them to be there for the panel. So she had to back out of Zoe's panel, which I understood completely. It wasn't a problem. So, yeah.
Any good souvenirs from the weekend?
Yes.
I'm sorry, what?
Well, we got a ton of posters.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure, John, we asked for free swag. I'm pretty sure we did.
I think we did too.
I don't know what swag we got. I got Bad Batch posters.
That counts.
You guys might have to fight over the extra one of that.
Chrysanthemum.
His little dreads and everything.
Oh my. Oh, the Andor posters.
And
cool.
he's in my puppy.
We played this game a bunch of times.
Hunters.
Mm-hmm. Well, because at the studio showcase, they gave us a thing to get Kenobi and Andor posters, so we went and redeemed that. And they were like one each, you know. And then at the Bad Batch panel, we got tickets to go redeem for Bad Batch posters. And so we go over and we go up and the tickets were supposed to just be for Bad Batch, but they're like, how many do you want? They gave us like 4. Then they're like, go down the line. So like we got like Visions posters or not Visions, like the Hunters posters. They're just like every single poster they had, they just like pushed them out of the circle. We're trying to get rid of them. Like just take them.
They probably printed.
It was the last day. It was the last day of the con, so they're like, it's many.
That's the best day to go around because people don't want to carry that stuff home.
Oh yeah.
The vendors don't.
They didn't have like we got lanyards and we got a little Ziploc bag, like a bag to carry your stuff in. And then they were sending home pieces of the they made that big diorama, which I didn't get any pictures of that. I just it was back in the corner, so I didn't really get back there.
What was this year's theme?
It was the Mandalorian, so it had like pictures of scenes from the Mandalorian.
They had
Really?
like the cave with the mud horn and stuff.
Yeah. And
Oh,
the
wow.
town, that long skinny town.
Navarro?
So, I don't know.
Which looks thriving in the season 3 trailer.
Yeah, so it was a lot of fun. I mean, I definitely recommend people going. But I don't, London, like I said, if you book airfare now and you search around, it's not going to, I thought it was going to be ridiculously crazy compared to LA, but it's not
roughly
at
the
all.
same. So let's jump from Celebration into some of your thoughts on the, if you're okay doing some spoilers related to the Kenobi show.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts on getting 2 episodes released back to back? Well, you guys got to see them at Celebration, so
Right.
you upped the game. But what do you think the thoughts were on seeing 2 episodes, one right after the other?
I think that's a good way to get people into it. I mean, because
I also think it's I also think from Disney Plus, not Star Wars Disney Plus's point of view, there's already now going to be a 2-week overlap with Miss Marvel and Obi-Wan coming out on the same day for 2 weeks. And I think doing 2 episodes in one day was just minimizing that a little bit.
But yeah, I just liked how they introduced Leia. I liked how they showed Obi-Wan as basically he was a broken Jedi, just kind of waiting on Luke, and I liked how they showed the relationship between Uncle Owen and him.
I do think that twist was very interesting because from the trailers, you would think that they're only going to focus on Obi-Wan and Luke.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what I was paying attention to before the show came out, but I didn't think that they would put Obi-Wan and Leia together.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
honestly, I think we've hit all of the trailer scenes.
Yeah.
I think. So it's
but
very
they almost
exciting
have
now.
to. You almost have to not have Luke in it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like almost Obi-Wan is almost destined to try to go as far away from Luke as possible for at least a little while. Now that Vader knows he's around, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think I also think like Luke for his character in New Hope almost has to have a very boring no stories life outside of maybe like he had a little mishap like shooting womp rats or whatever, where Leia, you can have that excitement for her and it fits the life we know she's led. And like even like someone pointed out, like in A New Hope, she recognizes the name Ben Kenobi. So someone's like, well, now this explains why she knew the name Ben and not just Obi-Wan,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but you would have thought then in New Hope she would have been sadder when she saw him disappear at the hands of Vader.
Yeah.
And at
Yeah.
the same time, she wasn't really that sad when she didn't visibly display her sadness at the destruction of an entire planet.
Yeah, I think that's more just how they did A New Hope. And of course, there's always the it was made 1977, and Lucas didn't think he'd get to all of this. So there's always a little bit of grace that should be given.
Yeah. And then seeing Vader, though, I'm surprised they had him and Vader fight so soon.
Yeah, I agree. Even from a, and I can't believe I'm going to go down this science fiction rabbit hole. How quickly Vader was able to get to that planet from the probes sending a message back.
Well, Pablo Dog always said hyperspace takes however much time the story needs. Yeah. I mean, it is early, but it is also we're halfway through the series now. So when you look at it like that,
they're going to add some more episodes.
Well, I don't know. Everything's still listing it at 6, but that was apparently one on the Celebration Live stage. Ewan McGregor goes, I hope you guys all enjoy episodes 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 and 9 and 10. So now everyone's like, what? And no one said anything about it. So I don't know if he was just... I don't know if he was just excited. I think he was just excited. Maybe. I don't know. I'm still going to plan for 6, I think.
Yeah, because it makes you wonder, like, what could they cover in just 6 episodes, considering it's a 10-year span between the films that they're filling in.
I mean, I don't think they're going to go all the way up to A New Hope, I think this will just be its story.
They also have to bring in, spoiler, they'd have to bring in Darth Maul.
Yeah.
I think this story will end with him going back to Tatooine and settling back in.
I think he's going to have to somehow fake his second death. Or something to get Vader off of his...
I don't know, because Vader, I don't know. Something, yeah.
I'm just glad that I haven't overthinked Obi-Wan.
Yeah. Now, do you guys think that we're going to see any Clone Wars flashbacks?
I'm gonna realistically, and also to save myself disappointment, say probably not. But man, I was playing Battlefront today, and whenever I see the Clone Wars Obi-Wan and Anakin skins, I'm like, they could totally do that. But I don't think so.
Yeah, I was thinking that when he was having that nightmares, but they didn't really do that. So,
well, because he wasn't in the back to tank.
Yeah, true.
You only get real flashbacks in the back.
Yeah,
but see, I also think Kenobi
the
is
flashback machine.
From a business standpoint, I feel like Kenobi is more targeted to the Star Wars movie fans.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
It's not as, I think they're hoping that people will watch it and then it'll bring them into more of the Star Wars. But it looks like it's geared more towards the people that just saw the movies.
It was the biggest Disney Plus opening premiere. Bigger than any of the Marvel shows, bigger than Mandalorian, and bigger
which to me is amazing
Clone Wars.
Considering how many people got to see it at Celebration.
Yeah.
Think about the
the
number of people that were in that room, and that only counted as one stream.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, it's incredible to think of how popular it is, having just 3 episodes out there.
Breaks my heart that it dethroned Mandalorian.
I think The Mandalorian had already been dethroned by one of the Marvel shows, though. And it was, I think, Siege of Mandalore dethroned it, too.
Well, The Mandalorian's still number 1 in my heart, all right?
Well, I tell you what, after seeing all those guys in Mando costumes, it did make me realize how much I love the Mandalorian, just his look. You know,
It's a great costume.
I mean, like he's kind of captured like everybody from all demographics, from little kids now to people older than me. You know,
Yeah, and I told you guys last show, The Mandalorian was I would very much so say, like, I've always been real big into Star Wars, but The Mandalorian's what got me to be obsessed with Star Wars again.
Yeah.
So I've got a very, very deep connection to Din Djarin now.
Well, I think one of the greatest things about the Mandalorian show is it connects to the old stuff, and it also takes it down a different path that you don't necessarily need to rely on space wizard monks or, you know, evil space wizards. Like, you can do other great stories in that universe where you don't necessarily need magic and laser swords.
right.
And I'm kind of hoping that Andor captures that same magic of, like, there's probably not going to be any Jedi or any Sith. There's not going to be any Force users in that show for the most part.
Right.
It's going to
Well,
be
I don't
very
know. I
gritty
think
and
that
boots on the ground.
I think you're going to have a bunch of Palpatine in Andor, aren't you?
Probably. And you might have some Vader. You might have some like just Vader commanding forces kind of thing.
You know, I think they're going to have them in there. This will also tie, I think, potentially, you know, into the idea of the acolyte, where they bring these folks in to show that evil doesn't have to be this mystical power. And I think Andor has a potential, just based on what I've read, has a potential to strike that nerve of people who don't like their expectations subverted. You know, because they've said already that this is going to show a different side of things that has never been shown before. You know,
But
so
see, it could include like that underground railroad type thing that lady was talking about in the
the
last
path.
episode of Kenobi. So you could have like a slight touch of that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think this will be some of the darkest stuff that's out there, where they're showing the true impacts that the Empire had on regular citizens.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know,
Kenobi's touching on that.
Yeah, it's showing some of that, absolutely. They're doing a much more intense version of that, and Rogue One definitely, with the occupation of Jeddah and the destruction of Jeddah. You know, they're showing the impacts of the Empire on the ground, and not just, you know, in space battles and stuff like that.
Well, and you know, also just based on the trailer, and you know, the classic line of "I've been in this fight since I was 6 years old," you might get to see some of the impact on citizens of the Clone War.
Yeah.
So,
Well, they touched on that with the sisters in the end of the Clone Wars.
Marta's sisters.
Right.
Yeah. Well, because it might show you why maybe the Jedi being gunned down didn't shock the populace as much as you think. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Did we all hear that the first 2 episodes are going to be on the 31st?
Yeah.
Which I like that they're doing. For the last couple shows they've done, it's been the first 2 episodes. Let's get you into the story, and then on a weekly basis.
I hope someday that we get the option to see those first 2 episodes in a movie theater.
Mm-hmm.
You know, 2 episodes and then watch it on Disney Plus. You know.
I think when we finally beat COVID, I think that'll be more mainstream.
Yeah.
See, I don't know. I think that Disney wants to hold those things just for the streaming service.
Yeah.
True.
And we would have to do kind of what you did, where we rent the movie theater and hack into our Disney Plus account to
Well,
see them.
honestly, I'd be fine with that too.
We can do that for the finale of Kenobi.
Yeah, we can do it. Well, I say we talk Inflatable Falcon only because I took NyQuil to try to go to sleep, and it's starting to kick in. So I don't want to ramble too. I haven't got a good night's sleep since like last Tuesday. So.
Oh boy.
Well, so much for our trilogy episode tonight.
I know. I'm sorry.
I also got to pick up a buddy from work, so I was gonna have to call here in about 5-10 minutes anyway.
Yeah. So. But as for the Inflatable Falcon, Toga sent me a message that they might have one for rent in Rockville, Maryland, which is a couple hours away from here. It's $150 a day for the Inflatable Falcon.
Is it available June 25th?
I don't know, but $150 a day seems a little cheap. So I don't know if that's like one of those. It's $150 a day, but it's $300 setup fee and blah 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 transport fee. You know what I mean?
Sandbag fee.
Yeah, sandbag fee.
Blower fee.
Because like I said, I talked to the guy for a minute, and he just looked at me like I was insane. Because they were trying to sell that one bouncy thing. So I don't know.
They brought the one salesman who had nothing to do with Star Wars to a Star Wars convention.
Well, I mean, and that's so. Me and Zoe were talking about that. So it leads good. We were talking about when we were looking at all those set pieces, and the fans, and it goes back to those toxic fans. These fans get all worked up if an actor or an actress isn't a big Star Wars fan. They get all worked up about that. But more importantly, you need the fans behind the scenes. Like an actor is paid to do what you give them, and they can love whatever they. You know what I mean? Like I don't believe every person that plays a murderer as an actor is a murderer. You don't have to be a murderer to play an actor. You don't have to be a Star Wars fan to play a Star Wars character. But you look at the detail put in by Filoni and by Favreau in all the little things. That's where you need to put the fan base. And if Kathleen Kennedy is watching this, hire this kid.
And just invite the rest of us to these events.
Right. We all do cosplaying now, right?
The highlight of my celebration thing was doing it with Zoe. She's a grown woman now, and she's going to graduate college in December. So who knows what goes past that. But the people that we met that are associated with Lucasfilm and all that put out such a helping hand to Zoe that I can't thank them enough for just all their encouraging words and helpful tips and stuff like that. So it makes me happy about the company. So that's it. I got nothing. I'm like I said, I'm about 3/4 deep into NyQuil right now. So
well, thanks for spending time with us tonight and getting us caught up on your California adventures.
Yeah, I'm going to stop the stream, but don't leave yet. But we're all going to say good night and stuff like this.